My BFF, punk rocker, the Whataburger skateboarder, triple meat with cheese candidate for the 2018 Texas U.S. Senate race, Beto O'Rourke.
Hey Denton, how are we doing? Good to see you. Holy smokes. Good to see all of you. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Listen. Thank you. This is right. Thank you. Thank you. Listen. This is an amazing day to be alive, to be under this beautiful sky, to be together at this defining moment of truth for this country. Let's all remember where we were on this day and the commitment that we made to one another, to this community, to this state, to this country, and to every generation that follows. In the face of some real darkness and profound disappointment that too many of our fellow Texans on most issues, but I'll work with anyone, anytime, anywhere to ensure that we uphold our end of the bargain for those veterans who have served us all over this world and saving lives in the process. Now listen, when those veterans first enlisted and they went off to the beaches of Normandy or served in Korea or in Vietnam or the first Gulf War or those wars that we fought in since 9/11, they did not swear fealty to a man, no matter what position or office he might hold. They swore to defend and to support the Constitution, the rule of law in this country, the very idea that no man, regardless of the position he holds, is above the law, and that means no man. And so whether you're concerned, which is mine, is that this president attempted to collude with a foreign power to involve themselves in our elections. Whether you're concerned is that this president sought to obstruct justice and the investigation into what happened to our democracy in 2016 and protect it against any invasion in 2018 or 2020. I hope that you agree with me that we've got to ensure the independence and the integrity of the Bob Mueller investigation, that we allow to follow the facts as far as they go, as high up as they reach, and ensure that there is accountability and justice for all in this country. We can do this and we can lead on this.
No.
Tell me that there is not a people that better understand the impacts of man-made climate change than the people of Texas. 1 year after Harvey, visiting some of these neighborhoods in Houston like Kashmir Gardens, where there is still plywood covering the windows and the doors, there are sofas and carpet and drywall still piled up in the front yard. And that's true in Nome and Orange and Beaumont and Port Arthur and Rockport and Port Aransas as well. And the scientists, if we will listen to them, 300 years after the Enlightenment, if we will listen to them, they tell us that storms like Harvey will become more severe, more intense, and more frequent. The 58 inches of rain that fell on southeast Texas, which is the landfall record for the continental United States for as long as we've been keeping records in this country. It will not only jeopardize our ability to rebuild after the next storm, and Harvey was only the third 500-year storm in the last 5 years, but it will undermine our ability to live anywhere near the ocean or the coast today. It's the same thing that the scientists tell us about North Texas and the Panhandle and West Texas. Our ability to grow the food and the fiber that the people of this state and of this country and increasingly the people of the world depend on will be undermined, because that 5-year drought that we just emerged from, this next drought that we are already going into, those droughts will become more frequent as well. They will undermine our ability to grow our food and fiber. They will undermine our ability to live anywhere that we live right now, where we're growing what feeds so much of the world today. This state, understanding the consequences of man-made climate change, knowing that it is not something that we must brace for, but that is something that is happening right now. And if this globe continues to warm 2 degrees Celsius, we lose it forever. The train is off the tracks, and none of us, no matter how strong, can get it back on again. This state can lead the way. This proud energy-producing state, which can ensure that we extract these resources far more responsibly than we do now, and that we seize upon the lead that we have. Expand on that lead, not just the country, but the world. We are #1 in the United States of America in the generation of wind power. We could soon be #1 in the generation of solar and geothermal. We're leading in the science of capturing carbon and sequestering it back underground so that it cannot continue to warm this planet. And guess what? Not only is that generationally the right thing, the just thing, the moral thing for us to do, it also happens to grow this economy and create the kind of high-value, high-wage, high-skilled jobs that we need. The 2 fastest-growing jobs in America today are wind jobs and solar jobs. Don't you want them here in Texas? I do. What if we decided that in this state, where you can be gay enough not to be hired or fired, and that's legal in Texas, in this state, with 30,000 children in the foster care system, and recently conditions were so bad, CPS was so underfunded, was not being overseen or held accountable, that kids were sleeping in the CPS offices on top of and underneath desks. In this state, you could still be too gay to be able to provide one of those children with a loving home under the guise of religious freedom. What if we decided that this state was going to lead on the civil rights and equal treatment under law for each and every single one of us? And lastly, when we're talking about equality and equity, what if it were this state? And so many of you have taught me this from your experiences, which I did not have as a white man in the United States of America, in the state of Texas today, but you have had in your lives. In a school system where some children on the first day of kindergarten are already 10 months behind in math, 12 months behind in reading, with precious little time over their academic careers to push pause and get ahead, or even just to catch up. In this state, where on that first day of kindergarten, an African-American child is 5 times as likely to be disciplined, suspended, or expelled as a white child in the same classroom in front of the same teacher for the same infraction. In this state, which has a school to prison pipeline that begins not in high school, but begins in kindergarten. What if this state, which is added to the world's largest prison population, one that is disproportionately comprised of people of color, what if this state decided that we were going to lead on reversing this and ensuring that civil rights extend to everyone, including those kids in those classrooms, because we have equity in education, not just resources, but education that begins not in kindergarten, where some kids on the first day are already behind, but education that begins universally for every child all day in pre-K, so it's the same starting line for every child. Education which means that the teachers in front of those kids understand the children that they're teaching, and better yet, look like the children that they are teaching. Education that allows every one of us to live to our full potential and to live in a society that has decided, thanks to the people of Texas, that we will end a war on drugs that has become a war on people, a war on some people over other people, that we will end the prohibition on marijuana. Listen, and let's direct everything that we've got right now on whoever it is that needs this attention and medical help right now. Let's focus our energy, our love, our compassion on the person who needs our help right now. We good? Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up from our first responder. Thank you. Thanks to our first responders for being here. We are grateful for what you all are doing. Listen, this is a state right now. We are a people who force those who do not have insurance, meaning they don't have health care, meaning that they cannot go to a doctor, they can't see a therapist or a social worker, a psychiatrist, or a psychologist. People whose schizophrenia or bipolar disorder or depression may be so bad, they're suffering so great, that they literally get arrested on purpose to be taken to a county jail where by law we then have to provide the food, the clothing, the roof over their head, the bed that they can sleep on, and the medical care that they otherwise would not be able to receive. Who are we as a people to be forcing one another to do that? Who are we to lose our fellow human beings to something like diabetes in the year 2018, to force parents who have children with medically complex, medically expensive conditions to fear a government that wants to take away the hard-earned protections for pre-existing conditions, which could mean cancers, which could mean epilepsy, which could mean asthma, which could mean, if you're a woman, your pregnancy. What if we, who understand this issue, given the loss that we have witnessed better than any other people from any other state, were the ones to lead the way on guaranteed, high-quality, universal health care for every woman, for every man, for every child? And what if we ensured that in a state that is at the epicenter of a maternal mortality crisis, where we are losing women faster than we are in almost any other state, almost any other developed country in the world, losing African American women at 3 times the rate of Anglo-American women in this state? What if we decided that healthcare also means ensuring that every woman can make her own decisions about her own body, that she has access to the healthcare, the family practice providers, the family planning clinics that are the difference between life and death for so many of the women here in this state? What if we ensure that this state, with more military installations than any other state in the country, who has sent so many brave women and men off to war half a world away, where they are serving tonight, where it is already tonight in Afghanistan, 17 years in Iraq, 27 years in. I was a senior in high school, 18 years old, when George H.W. Bush first announced that we would be going to war in that country, meaning we would be sending U.S. service members' lives, put them on the line in that country. We would be taking other lives in the name of the lives of those fellow Americans for whom they served. 27 years later, I'm almost 46 years old, 3 children of my own, and we are still at war in that country with no definition of victory, no end in sight, no commonly understood strategy for how we're going to end that war and bring those service members back home. Only in addition, además, we are in Syria tonight, we're in Somalia tonight, we're in Yemen tonight, we're in Libya tonight, we're in Niger tonight. We have to end these wars. We have to bring these service members back home. And when they come home, we have to make sure that they get the care that they have earned, that they can go in and see that provider. To doing this the right way, to getting our democracy back and making sure that it is responsive to and accountable to people and not corporations. In the last 3 months, which he raised $4.4 million in, from political action committees, from the special interests, from those millionaires and billionaires that he cultivated in his run for the presidency in 2016, when he should have been here as our senator in 2016. Money that he is already spending, not to describe a vision for the future, which we can all get behind, but to try to scare you and move you based on fear and some of our worst impulses and instincts, to that cynical approach to the world's greatest democracy. Here's what the people of Texas have done. With an average contribution of $33, with 215,000 unique contributions over just one 3-month period to his 4.4, you and I raised $10.4 billion together. And it is all people, human beings, the people of Texas making this happen. So let me close with this. Given what's on the line right now, and the seriousness with which the other candidate takes this race at this moment, all of the personal attacks and insults and fear that they are hurling our way, this is our opportunity. We're going to continue to be positive. We're going to continue to be focused on the future. We're going to continue to tell you, if you are a Republican and you're here, you're in the right place. If you're a Democrat and you're here, you're in the right place. If you're an independent and you're here, you're in the right place. It's going to be all of us coming together to do something great for this country, to do something great for this state, to do something great for this generation and every generation that follows. Are you all with me? Well, I'm with you, and I'm looking forward to doing this. Thank you, Tenten, for having us out again.